Hello, everyone. Welcome to all of you. We are going to discuss about the RESP today. I just wanted to share this information with you because I am a licensed advisor here in Alberta. My name is Manish Mehan, and I have been working in this field since more than last 6 years. And I am a designated and I'm a licensed insurance advisor in the province of Alberta as well as in BC. Plus, I have uh, a designation of CLU, which is Chartered Life Underwriter, and I help my clients to set up the financial plans if they need any taxation advice in terms of their financial plans, if they need any taxation advice on businesses, if they need any personal financial planning for RESPs, any insurance, RSPs, investments, I do all of them. So we are going to talk about today regarding the RESP. Let's jump into this topic, what exactly it is, because today is 31st of December, and we are doing it at the last hour, but this is the date when you can access your grants for this year. If you have a newborn child this year, you can access the grants. So let's talk about it. What exactly is RESP? So RESP is a registered education savings plan, which helps you to save the money for your kids' education. So education which is eligible is higher education. It is post-secondary education which is eligible to obtain the money from the RESP when the plan comes mature. So how does this work, and why we need something like this? If you will see, the cost of education has been rising every year. If you will see, due to inflation and due to various other reasons, the cost of education has been on the upside. And it's been, there was a survey, the statistics also tell that if your child wants to go for a higher education, if it is a 4-year university course, then it is going to cost somewhere around at least more than $100,000 in the next 15 to 18 years. So for example, if you have a newborn child this year, when he or she wants to go for the higher studies, it's going to be somewhere around 100,000, 120,000. But if you want to go for a really good course, let's say in US or some other places, the cost may be very, very high. I'm looking at a course on statistics in New York, in California and US, and the cost is around $250,000. So to get that money, or सारी money अगर हमने we have to put together at one time, अगर हमें सारे पैसे इकट्ठे देने हों, so there is no other option than loan, or if you expect the scholarships. And the third thing I always tell my clients that if you can win a lottery, which has the least probability. So इतनी ज़्यादा education की cost है जो हमें pay करनी है. How are we going to do that? So as per the surveys and as per the statistics, again, जो 50% लोग हैं, 50% kids do not even qualify for the loans due to certain reasons, due to credit score and all that stuff. There are so many other things. And for the scholarships, if somebody is looking for a scholarship, some parents think that it's so some pay the fees for their kids. But the survey says, the statistics say that only 31% of kids are able to get the scholarships. So one is loan, the other one is scholarship. If both of the options are not available for the kids, then how would you be able to fund that education? That is the biggest question. So I would talk about the RESP today, which is going to help you to have a certain amount when your kid is about to start his or her education, which is post-secondary education. So in RESP plan, it is called Registered Education Savings Plan. The money that you can put it into the plan is maximum allowed limit is $50,000. $50,000 जो आप डाल सकते हैं and then government helps you. So why it is so attractive? Like you can put $50,000 there. To some people say that they want to just keep it in the saving accounts or checking account. They want to keep saving the money on monthly basis, and this is going to help them to fund the education of the child. But the problem is that if your money is sitting into an account which is doing nothing for you, which is not giving any kind of return to you, what would happen in that case? The inflation will kill the value of the money. The inflation is going to kill the value of the money to a large extent. If you see, the inflation has been about 2 to 2.5% for last many years. And that's what the target is for the government, to keep it at that level. But let's say you have put the money in $50,000, the value has deteriorated in next 18 years, you will end up at somewhere around 35,000 value or $30,000 value. Whereas if you do not put it in a saving account or a checking account and you would like to invest it somewhere, it is going to give you a great advantage. I think most of you would be knowing about would know about Albert Einstein. So he said the eighth wonder of the world is compounding. So what is compounding? Compounding is when you put your money somewhere, the money is invested and it gives you returns. It gives you investment returns. So the money keeps going. So he said that it works like the eighth wonder, which means even if you don't have to worry about the inflation. Your money's value is going to keep increasing. Third, if you are lucky, you might have lots of I would say, I would go with the numbers later, but there would be a large amount which you will have accumulated when the kid is about to go to the school. So either it is RESP or it is any other kind of investment. It is RESP or it is TFSs. Everywhere you will have the same thing if the money is invested. So that's the advantage of putting the money at work. That's what we call it. So you are sleeping, but your money is working for you. So let's talk about what kind of plans are there. So RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan, can have many types. The first one is family plan. The second option, you can have a non-family plan. The third option is a group plan. So what's the main difference between them? If you go with a family plan, that is usually set up by the parents. And the parents contribute towards that plan. If it is a plan which is a non-family plan, it could be set up by some grandparents. It could be set up by the grandparents too. So it's not only the parents who can contribute towards the RESP, it could be the grandparents as well. It could be somebody else as well. But in the family plan, the person who is going to contribute or who is going to set up, those persons have to be related by blood. Or it could be adoption. Both of the things would be okay. So these are the different type of plans you can choose. You will have to talk to your advisor or wherever you're putting the money or wherever you're opening the account. You will have to talk to that person what is most convenient to you, what will be the most suitable plan for you. The other thing is, what are the investment options? We were just talking about the investments. If you heard the name of Warren Buffett, so he used to sell laminates at the age of 12. So, and if you will know, he had bought the shares at he was around, I think, 18 years of age. That was his first share when he bought it. So why I'm talking about him is the people who know how the money can be put into work, they can become rich or they can get great returns on their money. The people who know how to wisely put into action. So your money is going to work for you. So I have taken his example because if you will see his net worth right now, it is more than $60 billion. So what was the main reason behind such a huge net worth? what happened during those years? So there was actually exponential growth in his net worth, and the reason behind that was the compounding. Put the money to work, he invested it, and the money kept growing in exponentially. And at this time, he's, I think, in first five richest people in the world. So, so this is just an example. So if you will put the money in investment options, you could also do that in RESP. So how does it work is you have several options there. The first one could be the money could be put into a GIC, which is a very conservative type of investment. When you don't want to take any kind of risk, when you think that you want to uh, take least risk, the return won't also be great. So when you are taking a little bit of risk, the return also goes. Or the output when you're putting the inputs. I mean, if you look at it from the risk to reward ratio, the more the risk, the more the reward. So how it works is in GIC you have somewhere from 0.5% to 1% return, which is not pretty great. It's not great because of the reason that inflation is more than 2%. If you're putting the money into GIC, it's not going to help you much because it is still going to deteriorate the value of your money. So what is the other option? The second option could be funds. So there are various types of funds in the available in the market. Excuse me. So first, you would have, I think you have heard about the mutual funds. First, I'll talk about them. So mutual funds, what happens in the mutual funds is there are various set of stocks. There is a fund manager who chooses what kind of stocks he wants to put into a fund based upon the risk profile or based upon the structure of the fund. So he would say, okay, this is moderate fund, this is conservative fund, this is balanced fund, and then he could designate it as a growth fund or aggressive fund. So there are various options. But the thing is that mutual funds have underlying stocks in them. They are made up of stocks, and there are various stocks. Plus, they have exposure to bonds too. I won't go into those details, but this is overview. So there could be most of the institutions have 5 different type of portfolios based on your risk profile. Then you have the option of segregated funds. So what is the advantage of segregated funds? The difference between mutual fund and a segregated fund is uh, their insurance. So whenever you put money to a segregated fund, your money is insured up to a certain level, which means if the market goes down, let's say if the funds are not performing well, you still have the guarantee. Whereas in mutual funds, you do not have that guarantee. You do not have that insurance component involved in that. So that's why funds are always preferred options as compared to the mutual funds. Yes, they have a little bit of high MER. I won't go into those details, but I have seen that. I was looking at the data for last few years. RBC or other banks are selling lots of mutual funds, but the return on those funds haven't been so great. You can buy a lower MER fund, but you put the money into lower MER fund. But again, if the return is not as good as a segregated fund, then it's of no use. Uh, yeah. So next we talk about, sorry. So next we are going to talk about what kind of grants are available. So first option is you put the money, you have investment option. But at the same time, excuse me, if you put the money, then the government offers you free grants. So what is most attractive? The most attractive part of the RESP is the grant which is provided by the government. One type of grant which is called CESG, Canadian Education Grant, is offered to everybody who puts the money into RESP. Either you are in low income or you are in high income. So what I always what I always explain to my clients is that no matter what type of income you are making, if you have money and you certainly want to have at least 20% which is 20% return on your money, that is so hard to obtain anywhere in the world. You may be very lucky if you have put money into real estate in some other places, but at the same time, if you're putting the money into the funds, it is so hard to get 20% return on an average basis. So government helps you to obtain 20% grant on whatever you put, and the maximum grant that you can get is $7,200. So the reverse calculation for that would be you would have to be putting at least $36,000 in order to get the $7,200. That is one type of grant. The other thing in which government helps is Canada Learning Bond. So CLB is called the Canada Learning Bond. If you're in low income, when I talk about low income, that means you are making your adjusted net family income is less than $48,000. So when you are making that, in those cases, you will have higher grant for the first $500 that you put into the RESP. It is 40%. And if you are mid income, which is somewhere from 48,000 to 97,000, then you will be getting 30% grant on the first $500. So going back to Canada Learning Bond, if you're in low income, you get a $500 initially when you start up the plan. Afterwards, if you remain in the same income range, then you are going to get $100 per year for that. So you get $1,000 of maximum Canada Learning Bond up to 15 years. And then you have CESG, which is up to $7,200. So the next point I would like to talk about is, let's say somebody has a child who is aged 16 or 17. In those cases, unfortunately, you cannot start the plan, or you cannot open a plan until unless you have put $100 per annum for last 4 years, or you have at least $2,000 already sitting in the RESP account which you had opened somewhere else. So you cannot obtain the grant in those cases, unfortunately. But if your child is newborn, or if your child is less than age 14, 15, then you can always open the account. So for how long this plan, after how long it gets matured? The good news is that if you have a plan that can, if you have a plan which is in existence, it can go up to the 35th birthday. I mean, what that means is, if you want to, let's say, collapse the plan at some age, if you want to stop putting the money into it, and you want to see, let's say the kid is not going to school or something has happened, up to the 35th birthday of the child, or it's no more a child, it's an adult after that, but up to the 35th birthday, the plan can still go on after it has passed. So these are the things that we have available in the RESP. What exactly is government grant and all those things? We have covered those things. Next thing I'm going to talk about is worst case scenarios. What would happen if you have put the money into RESP, and let's say your child doesn't want to go to the school? Many clients ask me about this. They say, what would happen if my child doesn't go to school? Would I be able to get my money back? That is the biggest question, because you have the money directly into this account for this much time. What would happen? So if the child doesn't go to school, the good thing is that you can transfer it to the siblings. अगर बच्चे के कोई भाई बहन हैं, if there are any siblings, brother or sister, तो आप उसमें move कर सकते हैं पैसे. So that is one option. Second option is, if you have RRSP room, if the parents have RRSP room, the money can be transferred to that RRSP account as well. So it grows there. That is the second option. Third option, the least desired option, कि बच्चा, there are no siblings, बच्चे के there are no siblings, no brother sister, plus you do not have room in the RSP. So what would you do then? Excuse me. So in those cases, you can pull your money back. Your money will be given back to you. The government grant will be taken back. So whatever the EAP is called education assistance payment. So all that growth grants. So the grants will be given back to the government. If there was any interest generated on the amount that you had invested, that money will be given to you as well with the with the taxation. The tax will be based on your marginal tax rate. Whereas if the child goes to school and he or she completes 1 year full-time course, then that money will be given to the child or the institution. And there is a part of the money which you have contributed, you can take that as well. So what is good about this is, so you are safe. If your child doesn't go to the school and the worst things happen, your money is going to given back to you. But if your child goes to school, the good thing is that even if the fee is lesser as compared to the accumulated amount, the the remaining amount, which is more than, which is the balance after paying the fee, that money you can use for anything. It could be used for, wedding for the kid. It could be used for helping him or her for the down payment. So there are various things that you can do with this money. You are not stuck with the plan. If there is anything wrong or everything is right, then you still have good things. You still have good options available. So this is basically it. Like, what are the options available? Plus, I would say the cost of education, which was the main thing we wanted to cover, is like if you want to go for a 4 year education course into university, if your kid wants to be a doctor or lawyer, the cost is somewhere around $150,000 to the least, and then it depends upon what institution the kid goes to. So I would say the early you start, the more returns you will be getting. The best time to start is when the kid is newborn. There is a benefit provided by the government of Canada called Canada Child Benefit. When your kid is born, you can get up to $564 per month for every kid which is from 0 to 6 years old. From 7 to 18, the amount goes a little lower, but you can always use that amount to save for the education for the kids. So government of Canada helps you in these kind of things. They offer you Canada Child Benefit, then they offer you grant. So you can take the advantage of both of the things at the same time. Excuse me. So why we emphasize on this? Why so important? If you will see the surveys, if you will see the statistics, the kids who had signed up for the RESP, or the kids whose parents signed up, and the kids who have lots of money sitting in their RESP accounts, most of those kids go for the post-secondary education. It has been seen. And the kids who do not have money, they are always thinking about the loans, and some of them just do not go for the higher studies because they think that it is too much of a burden, it is too much of a stress. So I think you have heard about the Nelson Mandela. He has said that education can change the whole world, and we already know that we came from India, and we have seen that education makes a lots of difference. If we are educated, we can do so many things which we would have never ever imagined. So, so I would say, if you are thinking of getting more information regarding the RESP, I have tried to cover all the basics regarding that. But if you need more information, you can always call me. Plus, we have a draw going on. It is a lucky draw. We are going to do $1,000 prizes for 5 kids. If you want to put the name of your kid, please give me a call. You can go onto my Facebook page. My name is Manish Mahan, and my phone number is 587-718-8001. I'll repeat, 587-718-8001. If you just need the information, you can still call me. There is no obligation to start the plan. I can always give you the comparison of different options. So I think something my screen froze. So this is all I wanted to cover. I'll see if there are any questions. Then I will just try to address them. Uh, okay, I don't see any questions here, but thank you so much for all who have joined us, and I hope I have given you the information which was required. The RESP plan can work wonders for you if you start right from the beginning with the maximum amount that you can put every year, which is $2,500. You can again get up to around $15,000 to $16,000 only in the interest. So don't miss this thing out. If you need any further information, you can always call me. Thank you very much.